Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, a show that brings you up to date on the week that was. Here are the top stories of the week. The tech Mahindra steals the show, bags Satyam. Elections kick off laced with spurts of violence. And Varun gets paroled, but will he restrain himself? For all that and more, stay with me. I'm Rahul Sharma. The week kicked off with a landmark deal as the scam tainted Satyam got a new lease of life. More than 3 months after the accounting scam first came to light, Tech Mahindra won the bid for Satyam at 58 rupees a share, beating L&T, Spice Group and Wilbur Ross. The company law board has approved the takeover, which has propelled Tech Mahindra into the number 4 position in the Indian IT sector. Tech Mahindra, which is 31% owned by Britain's PT Group, will pay $351 million for a 31% preferential allotment of new shares in Satyam and will make an open offer for a further 20% at a cost of up to $225 million. We have with us Bangalore Bureau Chief Venkatesha Babu to talk about the deal. Venkatesha, what is the road ahead for Satyam under Tech Mahindra? Does brand Satyam have a future?
As of now, it is not very clear what Tech Mahindra intends to do with Satyam. Let us remember one thing very clearly, that Satyam as a brand is a very tarnished brand out there in the marketplace today. But it's also got a huge legacy. The company was set up in 1987. So Satyam does have, the brand Satyam has some resonance. Tech Mahindra has primarily friends only in the telecom sector, whereas Satyam has very strong footprint in areas like auto, BFSI, aviation. These are areas which Tech Mahindra would probably look to leverage to grow the company going forward. If Tech Mahindra has a clear roadmap on how to ensure that it retains the trust and confidence of key employees in Satyam, how it onboards them onto the Tech Mahindra culture, I think that it would be a win-win situation for both companies.
All right, Venkatesha, was Satyam India's Enron that was handled really well?
I think that the government should be given due credit for the kind of diligence with which they executed the whole task. The board which was appointed, the government-appointed board, had some of the most impeccable names. These are people who ensured that the process was fairly open, transparent and smooth.
Thanks, Venkatesha. And some not so good news for the IT sector. Although Infosys Technologies reported a stronger than expected 29% rise in its profits for the fourth quarter, it cut its forecast for 2009-10. India's second largest software services exporter. Forecast revenues would fall 3.1 to 6.7% to between $4.35 billion and $4.52 billion. After rising 11.7% last year, Infosys revenues have grown by more than 30% over the past few years. 64% of the company's business comes from developing applications, designing supply chains and providing back office services to US companies. Infosys net profit rose to 1,613 crore billion rupees or $323 million in January-March from 12.49 billion rupees a year ago. Let's go to Venkatesha Babu once again. Venkatesha, is the disappointing outlook from Infosys an indicator of tougher times ahead for the IT industry?
Absolutely. I think that in the past also Infosys has acted as a kind of a weather vane for the entire sector. I think that what the guidance provided by Infosys is an indicator of the tough times to come, especially for the mid-tier firms. I think over the next couple of quarters it will be extremely challenging. We might see greater consolidation going forward, like the Tech Mahindra Satyam thing, though it was a kind of an involuntary consolidation. I see that consolidation accelerating in the sector.
All right, thanks Venkatesha. Moving on to politics, the first phase of voting for the general election on Thursday was marked by Naxal violence across 3 states. 17 people were killed in Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Orissa. Polling booths and vehicles carrying election officials were captured and torched in various districts across Chhattisgarh. The BJP lashed out at the government, saying enough security was not provided, but the Congress was defensive.
The Maoist attacks today is a pointer on what the real condition of internal security is.
I have no doubt that every possible precaution was taken. But you will realize that the forces you are talking about, it is precisely the democratic activity of elections which hurts them and provokes them the most. and that is what perhaps has come to a fore in a higher number than we thought. That is not to say that stern measures against Naxal have not been taken.
Well, the overall voter turnout was on an average 60%. The Naxal-affected states did modestly well with more than 50% polling. The highest turnout was in Lakshadweep, while UP and Bihar, the states that together hold 120 seats in the Lok Sabha, performed relatively poorly, with UP at 48 to 50% and Bihar the lowest at 46%. In a reprieve for Varun Gandhi, the Supreme Court ordered his release on parole for 2 weeks on condition that he would give a fresh undertaking that he would not make any more hate speeches. The Congress interpreted this as an admission of his guilt.
The Supreme Court's message is clear and unequivocal. I think it amounts virtually to a clear admission by Mr. Varun Gandhi of the blunders committed by him in the past. It amounts to an undertaking and a declaration that he will not repeat those blunders in the future. It proves that the law is above us, howsoever high we may be.
And the vicious verbal duel between the Congress and the BJP continued through the week. Take a look.
Mrs. Gandhi, I believe, has made a statement somewhere in Bihar that BJP is a threat to the security of the country. We strongly condemn this statement. This reveals the fascist streak which runs deep in the Nehru-Gandhi family.
Every day, with every speech, BJP leaders keep sinking to a new low in political rhetoric.
Mr. Prime Minister, because of you, your policy and government, all the shoe of common man is pinching very hard. Respond to this first, before asking Mr. Advani to feel a pinch of his shoe.
The word apology, if it exists, has to exist in the lexicon of the BJP and the NDA. Mr. Advani has to begin by seeking apologies for Babri.
Time for some speed news now. Reading into signs that the global economic slowdown is fading. Investor confidence pushes the Sensex across the 11,000 mark. Sensex ends the week at 11,023. Despite an upward pressure on food items and fuels, inflation rose 0.18% during the week ended 4th April, below the previous week's annual rise of 0.26%. The rupee remains flat and ends the week at 49.71 versus the dollar. That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.